Hi, this is Charlotte from Delain, and you're watching Metallus.it.
Hi Charlie, and welcome to Metallus.it. It's a great pleasure to have you here after 3 years almost after your last visit in Italy. So how are you doing?
We're doing fine. We just had 3 weeks of our tour with 7 on a Battle Beast, and we're having a great time so far. We're really enjoying ourselves, and I think the audience is enjoying themselves as well. So yeah, it's successful. We're happy.
Hey, let's break the ice talking about The Human Contradiction, your latest new album. The album is strictly connected to the trilogy by Octavia E. Butler, Lilith's Birth. So I would like to ask you if there's any excerpt of this story that you like the most that has inspired you in choosing the title.
I think that the album title was most inspired by actually the first book of the trilogy, Dawn. And it was the passage in this book where the human contradiction as a concept is explained because it is a concept that returns a lot over the run of the book. And yeah, it's basically where they explain how we have this human contradictory qualities of being both intelligent and on the other hand hierarchic. So both by itself could be positive, but we use our intelligence in order to serve these old hierarchic ideas, and this makes us big qualities in others that and they can be any kind of qualities, and this is exactly how systems like racism and sexism occur, because we pick random qualities and then we use those qualities to place people higher or lower on this socially constructed ladder. And this is something that I thought it was very interesting to see it in a science fiction book, while it reflects so well on our actual society. So I think this spoke to me a lot, because of both of the way that it functioned in this work of fiction, which I really like, but also because of how you see this reflected in actual life.
Okay, let's talk about the cover artwork. It's very colorful, and I would like to ask you, since we know that you like both reading and you love arts, are these passions of yours somehow have influenced in the creation of the artwork?
I think most of all in the way that I'm very picky and very critical towards whatever our artworks do and what they show and how we show it. And I think that this artwork is probably, even though it's pretty colorful, but it's also I think the most gritty one. Like not exactly friendly looking on the cover, but I think that it kind of I think it covers well kind of the dark matter and subjects on the record itself. And also there are some things from the human contradiction in there which we kind of want to reflect on. We wanted to kind of pay homage to that place where the title comes from by including these cosmic elements in the cover. So I think there's a lot in this one. Yeah.
Okay. I know that both you and Martijn are the ones who creating the music and writing the lyrics. So I would like to ask you, where did the inspiration for writing both the music and the lyrics come from, in a way?
I think especially this record, what I think is one of the most special things about this record is the fact that we had to make it pretty quick, because we wanted to have it finished before we went on tour with Temptation last April. And it gave us like half a year to write and record and produce the record. And the way we write now, or the way that we have been writing for a very long time, is kind of everybody is welcome to bring things to the table. But if you look at the core, most of the songs, then it's Martijn, myself, and Guus Eikens. We kind of write the songs, the three of us. It's very convenient because Guus comes from the guitar angle, Martijn comes from the piano angle, I come from the vocals angle. So you kind of have these different sides of music included in the team. And we noticed that it works really fast that way. But it's also like a very fun creative process. And especially with this record, we really noticed that if we just take whatever inspiration that comes to us in the writing room and not second guess it too much, that apparently that works out very well. Because the funny thing is, some records we spend 2 or 3 times as much time writing them, and they haven't been received so well. So the fact that this album, which we kind of made in a hurry, like of course we would never compromise on quality, but we did really rush it. And the fact that this was so well received for me, it's like a big confirmation of our instinct, you know, that if we just do what comes, then that's a good thing. So, and those inspirations, I mean, they can be anything. And you know, when we're working on the music, the three of us, you know, it can be anything from that moment. I remember that the first parts of, you know, Here Come the Vultures, for example, was written on Halloween, and I think actually that if you know that, you can hear that. It can be kind of the atmosphere of the day. But then when it comes to lyrics, I guess that's a more personal process because I write those alone. So this is a little bit more that you really decide, okay, I'm going to take, you know, this passage from this book, or I'm going to work with these feelings and then find a way to describe them this and that way. So yeah, it's kind of different for all the parts of music. And also, you know, once we finish the structure of a song, and you know, and the band starts getting more involved, you know, everybody brings whatever kind of, you know, inspiration they have to the table. So I feel that it's always a very mixed effort. But yeah, in this case it was a lot of books of philosophy actually.
Okay. Well, in these latest albums we have some important guests as Marco Hietala from Nightwish and George Oshtuk from Orphanage. So was this choice, we got to know them in both in Lucidity and April Rain, if I'm not mistaken. So was this choice due to the fact that the album seems to be a sort of comeback to the roots, or was it spontaneous, a spontaneous one?
Well, it was a spontaneous choice, but I must admit that the fact that this album kind of reintroduces some elements that we have last used like a pretty long time ago. It is something that we really like about it, you know, because I really feel that this record is kind of a mix of, you know, our first records and then our later material, because it keeps going on the more, you know, the more poppy, catchy, edgy stuff that we've done recently. But then there is this very big instrumental, like orchestral parts. Then there are the very prominent drums, you know, which is all things that we, you know, mostly done in our first record. So yeah, so the fact that there is a reintroduction of those elements kind of makes the reintroduction of those people very logical.
Okay. Well, as you said before, last April you toured with Within Temptation, and as everyone knows, you had the chance to play a duet in Lucidity with Sharon Denada.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you remember about those times?
I merely remember that for me it was by then very special that, because I was 17, I think, and I was asked to write the lyrics for that record, and it wasn't exactly sure what my role on the album was going to be. So when I first started, I thought that I would just write lyrics for other people to sing, and of course when I learned who those other people were going to be, I was very honored by the fact that, you know, that they would sing my words. And then, of course, when it turned out that I would actually sing on the album myself, yeah, I was pretty excited about the idea of having that duet. Of course, you know, a lot of the parts had been recorded in different studios, also just to make it, you know, convenient for all the guests on the record. And so I think the moment where it became really real is probably the first time we performed the song together also, which is always a nice thing if you can make that happen, you know. To have a duet on an album is one thing, but I usually hope always that, you know, you can make these collaborations happen live as well at one point.
Well, today you're here with both Sabaton and Metallus.it. So it's been quite a long time that Delain didn't play in Italy. Mm-hmm. Almost 3 years, as I said earlier. So what do you think about the Italian audience? Is there any special memory related to someone special?
I remember the first time that we played here, it was probably the first time that people were crying in the audience. And like at first I was kind of confused, like what's happening here, you know? And it's always been a very positive experience to play here. I'm thinking now, you know, why did it take so long? And again, we do tours for every record, and we haven't done like we've done a lot of support tours for this record, and you know, a headline thing is still to come. So you know, our last record, We Are the Others. I think that is the last time we played here.
With Rhythm,
so,
yeah.
Exactly. So now we come back with the human contribution. Yeah.
Okay. Well, for some years now, you are considered as one of the most best female vocalists. Yeah, you are. Okay. So I would like to ask you, how much did the Dutch music scene influence you somehow?
Very much. I mean, for me, growing up, you know, the gigs that I went to see were The Gathering and With the Temptation and After Forever. And, I think that I am kind of living in a place where this is, you know, it's easy to get inspired by it. It's easy to, you know, if you aspire a career in a certain music field yourself, it's just very encouraging to see examples around you of people who do it and who do it well. So for me, I think that it mattered a lot. Yeah. And I've never, you know, I have a very broad musical taste, so I could imagine myself ending up in, you know, other subgenres as well. Not really different genres, but I think the fact that, you know, I grew up in this place where this is such a popular thing and a thing that works so well, I definitely think that has influenced me.
Well, since I've mentioned the Dutch music scene, I would like to talk about Counterwolf.
Yes.
So would you like to introduce the people who didn't know anything about this project, something more about it?
Okay, so what we've done some time ago is, I was actually asked to collaborate on a project called Counterwolf. And I have to give a little bit of a backstory, because in Holland we have every week before Christmas the biggest radio channel in the Netherlands. They have this week where it's called Serious Request, and they collect money for a good cause. And you know, they gather astronomical amounts, like really big amounts for these causes. This year they tried to pick a different cause every year, and this year the cause was all the money was going to victims of sexual abuse in conflict territories. And I was approached by Valerio Recenti and Joost van den Broek to ask if I would collaborate on this song that they were going to record, which was a cover of Frankie Goes to Hollywood's Power of Love, with, you know, the goal of making this a song that people can request, because the idea is that you request a song for money. So you say, I would pay 10 euros to hear, you know, Metallus.it right now, and the idea was that we would create a song that people all over the world could download, and people in Holland could, you know, request it on the radio and contribute in that way.
Unfortunately, the time is running out quickly. So, would you like to leave a message to the Italian readers and your fans, of course?
Yeah, definitely. Thanks so much for the interest, and thanks for the support in the last couple of years. We really appreciate it, you know, and whether it's by buying the record or coming to the show, or, you know, just telling your friends and enjoying the music by yourself, that's really valuable to us, and it makes it possible for us to do it. So, thank you, and I hope to see you all soon.